Thank you for coming, Myron. I actually wanted to ask you a more politically based question.
Sure.
So I work in political conservative broadcast media. We're an affiliate of Fox News. And the guy's last question actually perfectly sums up mine because it has to do with the Jewish question and, Jewish subversion of politics, Jewish control over our media and whatnot. I personally have seen firsthand the implementation of Jewish control over conservative media and how it subverts issues like what you're talking about today with women's rights. You can go into immigration or, racial tensions in America, all that kind of stuff, and how it's actually being subverted on the right wing as well. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to ask you, do you think it's more important at this point in time, now that Donald Trump is the president, to not lose focus of the left, because they are still out there? I mean, obviously they're in this room right now, but to shift attention more to subversion on the right wing?
That's a damn good question. I do think that there's a great noticing going on. I think the war in Gaza has kind of exposed a lot of Americans to, who really runs this government. The fact that Israel's been able to do the things that they've been able to do over the last year and a half prove that our government is compromised and it's occupied. Look around right now. A lot of you guys are college students. Some of you guys are maybe here on a student visa. You guys can't criticize Israel. If you do, there's a chance that ICE might show up and arrest you, and that's absolutely crazy to me, right? We're expending resources going after people that are legally here on their political views versus if they had criticized Donald Trump, we wouldn't care. So that should show the enormous amount of influence they have. But yes, they've controlled conservative media for a very long time, and it's good to see that people on the right wing are finally starting to wake up and realize this, whether it's myself or Candace Owens or Nick or Dave Smith, any of these people. We're waking up. Ian Carroll, a lot of prominent voices out there. But I think identifying, just talking about it in itself is doing quite a bit because now they're scrambling. They're going crazy, right? You got people like Doug Murray showed up on the Joe Rogan podcast trying to tell them, well, you need to watch who you bring as a guest. Have you ever been there, right? Like all this bullshit. So they're trying to definitely do damage control, but I think the genie's out the bottle, man. People are starting to wake up, and people are figuring out with JFK, people are figuring out with the USS Liberty, people are figuring out with 9/11, the links, and people are asking these questions that historically would get you banned. So, and then you got people like Hassan Piker, who's on the far left, right, agreeing with guys like me, who you might consider me on the far right. And I think, and this is the only time I've ever seen people on the far left and on the far right actually agree on something, and it's on this Israel topic. So I think more people are waking up, and it's great, man, because I will tell you, prior to October 7th, if you talked about this, bro, cooked. You'd be banned. And this being in conservative media, right? Like you just get blacklisted. So it's good to see that people are waking up and we can at least have this discussion now, finally.
Thank you for coming.
No worries, man.
What do you think about Trump's affinity for Israel?
It's pathetic, to be honest with you.
Like the anti-Semitic act, or not that he just put someone in front of anti-Semitism, which is basically.
No, it's a problem, dude, because it infringes on our First Amendment, right? So and it's funny too because Donald Trump is a victim of censorship. If you guys remember, after January 6th, they banned him everywhere. And then on his first day in, when he signed that executive order, it was an executive order actually to prevent the government from colluding with social media companies to suppress free speech of U.S. citizens. So I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And then I see him sign this anti-Semitism bill. And the thing that concerns me the most about this anti-Semitism bill, for those that are unaware, and any of you guys that are here that are college students that are visa holders or whatever, I don't want you guys getting deported, so obviously be very careful about sharing these things, these views. But the anti-Semitism bill is based on the definition of anti-Semitism. Well, what is the definition of anti-Semitism? Well, it's an ever-changing definition based on the International Holocaust Remembrance Association, or IHRA. And if you go to the website, it literally says working definition, which means they can change it at any time. And the reason why that's problematic is because that's the root term for these anti-Semitism laws. So, they can literally change it to whatever they need to fit their political agenda. So I think pretty soon, if they haven't already, I think they might have already done this, being critical of Zionism or Israel is going to be considered anti-Semitic. So that's kind of where we're going, man. They're infringing on our First Amendment rights for a foreign nation, which is wild. But I think the more awareness we bring on this and we talk about it and, we tell our politicians that this is unacceptable, that's our best weapon, is uniting and using our speech to criticize it.